That's not appropriate. We're not talking about mob actions. I didn't say that.
What happened Sunday night?
Okay, hold on a second, okay? Respectfully, these large gatherings, just hold on a second, y'all. I promise you, we have time to talk. It's important that we speak of these dynamics in an appropriate way. This is not to obfuscate what is actually taking place.
This was the scene near Roosevelt and Canal Sunday night. Groups looted a convenience store. More than 36 teenagers were arrested, along with a 12-year-old and at least one 20-year-old. Store owners say it was the second such incident in that area in just the past few weeks. And today, Mayor Johnson commended Chicago police for the way they handled it.
To the best of their ability, I believe that they attempted to engage with our young people, with community partners, giving as much warning as they possibly could. And, unfortunately, arrests, were made.
Yeah. They're not mobs. They're future rocket scientists that were experimenting and destroying everything in their path. That, of course, was, just a large gathering, and the police did great sitting on their ass, not doing nothing. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Rudowski here of wearechange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely wild and bewildering news to get into today, as of course modern day society just keeps getting stranger by the day, as of course we have a lot of domestic conflict to get into that is escalating and getting out of proportion. This, as we have the latest revelations from Tucker Carlson that just dropped two major bombshells on the American public that are worth talking about and have some huge implications. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, all here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing right now, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is, of course, from Chicago, Illinois, where the woke LGBTQ favorable pro-BLM rioting mayor there is very surprisingly commending police officers that were not able to stop looting and rioting that happened in smaller stores throughout the weekend in Chicago. When you have an anti-cop guy complimenting the cops, that you have a couple problems on your hands. This, as Chicago is one of the least freest places on the world where people have no right to defend themselves in a place that's routinely called Chirac, because of the huge amounts of violence that takes place in that city every single weekend, that for some reason the corporate media, by and large, doesn't really like to talk about or actually bring up as a real issue. I wonder why. And in related news, in powerful people covering up important information, today we're also finding out that it wasn't just the Biden administration that censored and demoted particular individuals for questioning them and their motives on big tech social media, but today we're also finding out that the Biden administration told Facebook to alter its algorithm and favor their friends in the, quote, news business, the corporate media that, of course, regurgitates everything they say without question, as newly obtained records show that the White House was specifically trying to get the brown nosers that the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal promoted over, of course, independent and more kind of alternative media organizations that, of course, provided a counter narrative against what the New York Times and Wall Street Journal were regurgitating from the White House. This highlighting clear collusion of state powers meddling in speech, meddling in the press, while lying to the American people, as, of course, even Mark Zuckerberg, even Facebook, even Meta came out and said, hey, we were told to push some narratives that weren't true, and this hurts trust. And obviously it does, as of course we were told routinely lies from the establishment, from social media. People who were telling the truth were censored, downvoted, and demoted in the algorithm, prevented from being seen from individuals who wanted to see them. And as an independent media organization that has been affected by this for many years right now, it is frustrating seeing the absolutely unfair advantage, the thumb on the scale, the clear collusion that brown nosers who suck up to the establishment being promoted, while anyone else trying to have an honest and real conversation being absolutely screwed over. This, as even Harvard Business School has talked about how the news is not the news anymore. It's not anything to deal with the truth or even any concepts of it. It is all about political power and gesturing, a part of larger psyopses, manipulation, and propaganda campaigns that benefit, of course, the special interests. We were told for years there was absolutely no chance of a lab leak from Wuhan, China. The people daring to question that were, of course, censored, destroyed. This as there's even a new illegal lab found in California run by a Chinese biotech firm working on things like AIDS and mice that could spread viruses. Nothing to see here, according to the White House, that probably is going to obfuscate, censor, and blame that story on someone else, and probably will be telling you someone was just sucking down on a bat in California, which probably is happening, but probably is not the cause for whatever might be coming our way in the future. This, as it's important to note here, that almost every single person that the establishment, especially this Biden White House, aligns themselves with are absolute, horrendous, horrible monsters. And whether it's Ellen DeGeneres, or specifically James Gordon, or now Lizzo, all of these favorite puppets of the establishment are being exposed as absolutely egotistical, crazy, sociopathic monsters that violate people's human rights and dignity at every chance that they get. And these are the biggest cheerleaders of the establishment. These are the people standing next to Joe Biden, the administration, the ESG score, and every other piece of propaganda that they throw your way, showing you just how shallow, just how hollow, just how utterly filled with crap they are. Again, all of these three individuals, you can see it in their eyes. You can see it in their face. You can see it in their mannerisms. Absolutely horrible human beings. Narcissists, bullies, egomaniacs that have been created as monsters because people blindly worship them, which under no circumstance you should do to any other kind of individual in this life. Never put any man or woman above yourself as a human being in this world other than your family. And that's one lesson out of many lessons that we specifically routinely talk about on LukeUnfiltered.com, our own members area where we get to say and do whatever we want. 3 masterclasses, an exclusive members-only t-shirt store, a forum to meet like-minded individuals, giveaways, contests, in real-life meetups, AMAs, all of that only available to members of LukeUnfiltered.com, our quasi-secret, not-so-secret society, where, of course, we get to see that we are not alone. We get to talk to each other. We get to coalesce. We get to share intelligence and information that, of course, benefits us while providing us an outlet for individuals to come together. By the way, we just released a lot of different videos, additional videos. We usually do about 4 to 5 videos of members' exclusive content in a week. This week, we did that, plus 3 extra videos that are only available for members of LukeUnfiltered.com and subscribers of Twitter.com/Luke We Are Change. We just released our Stem Cell Joe Rogan Tijuana Medical Facility podcast, which is absolutely worth a watch. If you want to learn about stem cells, if you want to learn about alternative regenerative healthcare, check out the podcast that we just released on the members area and for the subscribers of LukeUnfiltered.com. Lots of really crazy stuff to get into, lots of really interesting stuff, as well as a brand new spanking video that's going to be available for members right after this one, as we're going to jump into our main topic of discussion now, and that is the latest bombshells being revealed by Tucker Carlson, as the National Post has just released a Fox News deleted scene from Tucker Carlson when he was still at Fox interviewing the Capitol Police Chief that came out and dropped some major bombshells about an alleged cover-up of the January 6th events that he, of course, was prevented from talking about and testifying to Congress to. Here's a small clip of what should be raising a lot of eyebrows, should be raising a lot of conversations right now surrounding one of the biggest police and authority figures in this country surrounding January 6th, coming out and saying some information that, of course, contradicts the official narrative of what we are told about that happened on that actual date.
I try to do what I can to get the truth out.
Yes.
You know, they didn't want me to testify in February 23rd at the Senate hearing. They only wanted people that are still currently in positions on the Hill. I actually had to go and talk to a friend of mine on one of the oversight committees and say, I will come there in person. I want to be there. I want to testify. So I'm glad you think I'm reserved. I'm, to be honest with you, I'm a little pissed off because it doesn't have to happen. If people were reporting the intelligence correctly, if I was allowed to do my job as the chief, I got a significant experience. If I was allowed to do my job as the chief, we wouldn't be here today. This didn't happen. Then see how.
Yeah, and to have the Capitol Police Chief call the January 6th events a cover-up is definitely eye-opening, to say the least, as, of course, these events have been weaponized by the DOJ, by the corporate media, by this current administration that, of course, is using them as leverage, as well as brand new charges that are being brought upon the former president of the United States right now that is probably being arraigned during the making of this video. This, as the Capitol Police officer also came out and talked about how it's not crazy to ask questions about Ray Epps, as of course there's other comments, particularly about how feds were flooding the entire area during January 6th and had some kind of role involved in this entire matter that we are still not privy to understanding. We have to understand that the clip that you just saw is a clip that Fox News did not want anyone to see, as of course they fired Tucker Carlson before this release and even sent him cease and desist letters telling him to specifically not broadcast any kind of video, any kind of information to his audience on Twitter. This, as Tucker Carlson was also able to scoop all the other corporate media, and before all the other networks, he was the first person to get the interview with Hunter Biden's former friend and business partner, Devin Archer, highlighting a big moment in independent media that's not tied to any multinational corporate network, that's able to scoop and have big stories that, of course, the lamestream media does not have. Here's a small clip of Tucker on Twitter that, of course, just released to the general public about something that, again, is of key importance to the American people that is being shared right now through independent media.
These are not business guys. This is the vice president of the United States. He's not allowed to be working on businesses with foreign governments while he's vice president, I don't think.
Not that I know of.
But here he is.
Right.
Amazing.
In a bombshell interview confirming that Joe Biden met with Devin Archer around 20 times, clearly establishing Biden's intimate knowledge of his son's foreign business dealings that, of course, he was tied into, as he was also sharing bank accounts and making a lot of key decisions in positions of power that greatly benefited the corporations that enriched him and his son. This, as of course, a lot of people are talking about Trump's indictments now and not the testimony of Devin Archer that, of course, conveniently have blocked out a lot of bad news for the Bidens. But as independent media, I think it's important to talk about the bad news with the Bidens, as of course, there's also new information coming out that Burisma Oil, the Ukrainian oil company that was given Hunter Biden huge amounts of money, would, quote, likely have gone out of business if it wasn't for Joe Biden, who, of course, intervened in Ukrainian politics and fired the prosecutor that was looking into this private oil and energy company. This, according to the other testimony by Devin Archer, who's also coming out and saying that Hunter Biden laid out the price of power, saying specifically that Hunter Biden used his father, the vice president of the United States at the time, as a defensive leverage for foreign business partners that, of course, greatly benefited himself, where there's even documented cases of Hunter Biden giving himself a Porsche after bringing his father along to business dealings with Kazakh oligarchs, as of course, clearly there was some larger business dealings going on here that we are still not privy to and have no information about. Now, how will this impact the very upcoming and turbulent 2024 presidential elections? Will it at all? Well, only time will tell, but what do you think is going to be the result of this testimony from Devin Archer that previously the Department of Justice tried to prevent and stop? Let me know what you think, what you speculate will happen from here down in the comment section below. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actively watching and sharing this video, and that's why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org. One more video coming your way on lukeunfiltered.com, and I'm going to play a little clip of a video that I did about 10 years ago showing you how a lot of the Obama-Biden voters are kind of low information voters. If you want to watch this full video, it will be down in the description below. Iron Man, would you be supporting Barack Obama this year?
Yeah. Okay, but I would support Obama, yes.
Can I interview you
Yes,
for 2
please.
minutes? Beautiful, awesome. My name is Luke Radowski of We Are Change. I'm going to name off a couple policies that Romney's proposing if he becomes president. He's going to implement. I want to know what you think about him as an Obama supporter. Romney said he would not only extend the Patriot Act but expand it, and also surveil and